Hello, everybody listening to the Fair Weather Podcast. Point 2K Suave. I'm here with Mr. Alex Rodriguez. Brown bag, Aints. This poor man is a Knicks fan. I don't know how the outcome of this Philadelphia 76ers game is going to go against the Knicks tonight, but the last time I talked shit about the Knicks because we beat them, everybody was like, oh, it's just the Knicks. Have y'all lost y'all pride altogether? Like, is that what y'all are now?
Man, they lost 15 of their last 18 games, bro. So
I know, but when Knicks fans are just saying, bro, we're just the Knicks, I'm like, bro, what happened to y'all? Y'all used to be cocky and braggadocious and, Spike Lee shit. Now y'all wearing brown paper bags and saying, oh, we're just the Knicks.
We had a good team, man. We used to have a good team. Just because you make the play. I told you, what did I want this year? I said, make the playoffs again and win a series. Doesn't look like it's going to happen. So we digress once again, man.
Not even a play-in, huh?
I don't even think they're gonna get the play in, bro. Like, they're bad.
Y'all looking like the Lakers right now. I don't know what's worse. Two of the most valuable franchises in sports look horrible and have all this chaos surrounding them. It's kind of crazy.
It is crazy, but I mean, what do you expect of as a Knicks fan, man? They're just continuously break your hearts, man. When they start doing good, like, remember beginning of the season, they were beating like the playoff teams. They beat the Sixers, they beat the Bucks, they beat the Celtics at that buzzer beater shot from RJ Barrett.
So are the Wizards.
Huh?
So are the Wizards.
Yeah, I know, but they just look really good. It looked like we picked up from when we left off last year, making the playoffs with a decent run at it. They're just bad though. Like, I don't know
what it was. Y'all got cursed by Trae Young.
No, Trae Young didn't curse.
No, Curse Young hit y'all with that little Reggie Miller curse.
Trae Young ain't curses, man. Trae Young cursed y'all, bro. If he cursed me, he cursed you. So.
He cursed us into James Harden and Tyrese Maxey, so I'm cool with it. And another MVP year out of Embiid, so I'm cool with it. Trust me.
Cool. Oh well, we'll see what happens. But anyways, Knicks are playing in Philly tonight on ESPN, so catch that game. Text my phone, make sure I got a pulse still, so anything's nice. But episode 58, first thing we're going to talk about is the MLB lockout in the state of baseball. Then we'll jump into the NFL offseason, just have open dialogue all night on all these topics. Then last we'll talk about
combine is up. Let's get it.
Yep. We'll talk about the future of the NBA with the young stars that are budding and Ja Morant just flourishing since coming on the scene. And then for the fun segment, I don't even know what it is. KK is going to take it away.
I got a little surprise for this big time sports fan that we have here. We are the Fair Weather Podcast, so I want to see if he's a fair weather fan of the teams that he claims, or does he really give a damn about them? So that's what we'll
see. We'll see. If it's like analytical questions, you'll probably get me on all of them. So
I don't do analytics. I do analytics.
All right, analytics, whatever you want to do, bro. Whatever. You're that guy that pitching a no-hitter and then KK comes out with his glasses and pushes him up and says, we got to take this guy out right now.
That could not be me, because those are the people I want to choke.
All right, well,
with that being said, that's part of the problem with baseball. Because let's just hop right into it.
Yeah,
let's just hop right into it. Obviously, we all know what's going on as of this moment. There's no baseball on the schedule for the next. Well, the first two series have been canceled or whatever. Did they say canceled, postponed? Like, what is their actual terminology on that?
It's canceled as of now. The Players Association is trying to get those games back and extend it longer, like the season a bit longer. They're trying to do that, but as of now, they're cutting it down to, I think, 156 games is what they're going to cut it to. Or 152, something like that. 150 something games is what they're gonna have.
Shit, they need to cut these down a little more anyway. So,
but nah, screw that. I love baseball's my favorite sport, so it sucks to see this. It sucks to see this happening, especially at the expense of the owners. Like, the owners are just greedy motherfuckers, man. I'm sorry. Like, call it what it is. It's stupid, and it all comes down to paying your players. And a lot of teams are not valuing the farm systems, and that's what makes baseball beautiful. Is you have a farm team. I feel like out of all sports, that's the best way to see your rising talent go. Guys get hurt, it's a long season, we're going to rehab them the right way. Let's use the guys from the farm team and see what we get out of them. But they're wanting to pay overpriced for a lot of guys that are outdated for certain things, and that puts guys like Shohei Ohtani and Cronenworth in a pickle when it comes to getting their contracts because of their eligibility for things. So it's just unfortunate because this is easy to fix. I've been reading about it all day about how they've been going back and forth with pay and with salary caps and all of this. And
what have you learned with your reading?
What have I learned?
Yeah, like what have you like? What are the numbers looking like? How far are they apart? Like what have you?
Everything that MLB proposes, like for the fourth year of negotiation, is what pretty much what the Players Association wants for year one. So there's definitely a gap in between from what they want and like what's expected. And it's just unfortunate because baseball profits a lot of money. I mean, all sports profit a lot of money. And I was reading, I think baseball within the last 2 or 3 seasons has the price is like, I think that ownership is brought in is like over 40% than previous years. So there's definitely money being made there. And if you're not being able to pay your players, or this is your discrepancy, like these are the guys that come out and play for you.
Yeah.
And then when you have your commissioner, who I absolutely despise, Rob Manfred, coming out there and just, it's like, shunning a reporter. That's like the worst thing. I feel like that's just bad look on a commissioner. Like, we're not going to miss you ever again. He said then the reporter's like, the feeling's mutual. Like, come on, man. Like,
being Adam Silver's not doing that. Shit, Roger Goodell's not even going to do that. Like, it's bad business.
And we had a great commissioner in Bud Selig, man. Bud Selig was a great baseball commissioner. And this guy, I've never been high on him. No one really likes him. The players just want to play. That's all they want to do. They only, I think Max Scherzer's there, Andrew Miller's there on the Players Association behalf. Tony Clark too, former first baseman. It's just sad. And like baseball, like we always preach, it's like a dying sport all the time. It's like a boring sport. And now you just made it more boring because you can't even start the season. So
my problem that I have with the MLB is that the only time that we talk about the MLB, which I've mentioned this many of times, is because there's something wrong with the sport. There's always something. I mean, we could talk about gambling in the Black Sox. We could talk about pine tar. We could talk about, steroids. We talk about the game being too long. We talk about shift. There's always something wrong. And I think it's like an ongoing problem that they've had for so many years. You go back and look at history. Shit, baseball, this is not the first time this has happened. And we're hoping it doesn't get to it, but that 94-95 labor strike, I mean, that was that happened. Like it's not something that they're not familiar with. And then in 2002, there was like it got really close again. So we're in this new era where this had to happen. The problem is, obviously, we all know the owners are greedy. As much as people think, baseball players get paid so much money. Yeah, the top dogs do. That's, of course, the best players are going to get paid a shit ton of money. That's just how it works. But the salary, because there's no salary cap, right? But salaries were actually down this year. So we see all these $300 million contracts and we think, oh, wow, baseball players make a shit ton of money. But the salary was actually down this year. And there's no reason for that. When you got teams like the Marlins who are worth $2 billion, the freaking Marlins are listen, they have 2 World Series, so Godspeed and good for them. But like, we don't look at the Marlins as a model franchise. We don't look at them as like the Yankees or anything like that. And they're worth $2 billion. Derek Jeter just walked away from that the other day like it was nothing. You know what I mean? So it's like there's so much money to go around, and these billionaires are so like, keeping it close to their chest to invest and everything like that. And I look at the lockout as a microcosm of like what's going on in the world, or at least in the United States, where like, after the pandemic, A lot of these big companies, Amazon, like the Bezos and Elon Musk and all these people made a lot of money, like a lot of money. Like so, the top dogs in Netflix, they're raising prices. Amazon, they're raising prices. Like all these dudes are making hella money, and they got their factory workers making $7 an hour. It's just it's a labor struggle that we're seeing in baseball. That's kind of a microcosm of the world. And kudos to the players because only in baseball do they have the balls to be like to not, you know, to not give in. Like you see, you see them in basketball. They might give up a couple games, but someone's gonna cave. But at least in basketball, they actually care about the players a little bit more. Football, they're always gonna cave. But football, it's just the players are never on the same page in football because you don't have the Tom Brady's and the Peyton Mannings of the world speaking out. But in baseball, you got. I mean, Mike Trout just posted something today. Like you said, Scherzer, like all the big guys are coming out saying something. And what they're saying is accurate. And plus, all this does it affects so many more people than just the players. You got to think about the athletic trainers and the equipment managers and the concession stand workers, the people that sell the popcorn and all that. It's just this goes deeper than just the players not getting paid enough. So I'm proud of the players for being strong about this, but I'm very disappointed in that bum commissioner, and I'm very disappointed in these greedy ass owners because here we are, another bad thing to talk about with the MLB. Like as great as the sport is, I know it's your favorite sport. Every time we talk about baseball, it feels like it's always something. Like last year, it was like the weird thing with the uniform checks, and it's just it's always something. So it's very
thing with
disappointing.
baseball, the thing with baseball, I compare baseball and boxing very similar. It's a sport where a lot of like old heads are still in it. Like this is the way we scout. We go to high school games, we sit there, we watch them like this. We write everything down on pencil and paper and shit like that. They keep all these knowledgeable guys in it because that's how it's been done. So baseball's a game of advantage. Let's be honest. Like if you know the advantage on somebody like tipping pitches, if you can read the pitches, you're gonna work the hell out of that. Just like sign stealing is if you get caught though. If you get caught, then you're shot.
Whatever I always said.
Yeah,
everybody cheats it. Even if you don't call it cheating, the whole point of being a successful baseball team franchise player, you got to figure out what the other guy is doing, and you got to figure it out and let your team know what they're going to do because you're just trying to get a competitive advantage. That's plain and simple.
Yeah, but at the end of the day, I mean, I feel like that's the same way with all sports. Like you can read players can read other players, but I feel like baseball and boxing, they're like dying sports in my eyes of things, and it's just run by a bunch of old heads that say this is the way it was done, and they're greedy. And on top of that, it's like they don't want change. So if like something comes up, like look at analytics, for example. Analytics took baseball by a storm, and everybody was against it at first. They were like, oh, this is giving them advantage to this. This is not how you play the game of baseball. And then everybody started to carbon copy that, except for the big franchises that could afford players. Yeah. But other than that, like things need to change. And as much as I hate analytics, I think it's good for baseball because the teams that can't afford these guys, they're going to be able to do this. They're going to be able to compete. Like, look at the Rays.
There's a reason why the Rays are competitive every year.
Same thing with the A's. The A's are competitive every year because of this. They draft well. They bring up their farm system the right way. They don't rush guys out there, and then when they're ready to play, they're ready to play. And then they go get guys that plug and play, have the same stats almost as the other big name guys, but they're not the same caliber household name. Yeah. So they know how to do it. So I hate personally. I don't like analytics, but it's good for the sport. It's a showing of a changing of the times. Yeah. And I'm okay with that. And it's baseball already is a slow sport. It's got to be more fast paced. It's got to be more fun and exciting. So I think when we last left off talking about baseball, we left it in the hands that it's in good hands with guys like Ohtani, guys like Tatis, talent and the excitement. But you got to let these guys play. If they want a bat flip, let them flip the bat. Like it's a high emotional game. If you hit a walk-off home run and he does a bat flip, and you're going to penalize him for that or throw him out of the game for it? Like, come on, man. Yeah. The best thing that happened in baseball was Joe West retired this year. Like that guy, thank God he's gone. He's potentially the worst umpire in the world. He should have retired 10 years ago. That guy can't see a strike to save his life. Like, he's gone. So that's a good thumbs up for me right there. But this whole thing with the Players Association and the ownership, like, owners need to cave in here, man. Like, they need to meet some demands or get close as hell to it. Because I think one of the things they were complaining about, base salary for like an MLB player was like, it was low. And I think they wanted by the fourth year to like increase by 100K for like 4 years.
Yeah.
And then the players wanted year 4 to be the base going into the season. So we're way off. We're way off by like numbers there. So it's just unfortunate, man, because all I want to do is watch baseball. I really enjoy it. Tickets are always cheap to go watch Rays games, man.
Shit,
like
I want to go to a spring training game at least. Like, I was actually looking forward. But you know what? I would like to go to a spring training game this year to go see the Yankees. I've only been to that stadium once where the Yankees play here at Steinbrenner, but I've never actually been there to watch a game. I'm like, you know, I actually want to go there and watch the game. My Phillies play in Clearwater. I want to go to Clearwater and go watch them play quote unquote home game for the spring training. So those are things I look forward to. But as far as you know, just getting away, obviously we know money. Whenever there's an issue in the world, I mean, look at Russia and Ukraine. When you look at all this stuff, the bottom line is always going to be money. So that's just the problem. That's, you know, we're so ruled by money, and it's a shame. But the other stuff, the on the field stuff that you know, that's part of this whole negotiation. What do you think about like this whole thing with expanding playoffs and stuff like that?
The first year they did it, I really enjoyed it. I mean, I feel like it's something you test out. And if it gets good reception, like, I enjoyed it. I like seeing more teams be in the playoffs because there's a shit ton of baseball teams and there's only like 6 that get in. And it's super short. Or do it like a play-in bracket, like we do with the NBA now. Like, make 4 teams, 1 game, get into the playoffs, like something like that. But I don't know. I just feel like there's not enough teams that go and play in the playoffs, in my opinion. So
I feel like and I've been saying this about so many sports. I've been saying,
I'm also a big baseball fan. So like, I just
know, but I'm gonna just generalize this with sports and society. We're such in the business of giving out participation trophies. I agree. I am starting to get tired of it. Like, how baseball art. So obviously, you know, you win your division, you're in, cool. And then at the time, it was 1 wild card team. I did think, only 1. Okay, that was a little unfair I mean, you'll have a team win 90 games potentially and not get into the playoffs, which is, you know, that would suck, right? So I was open to the idea of having the 2 teams on the bottom, like 2 wild card teams, quote unquote, fight for that last playoff spot. But to me, that should be the extent of it. I don't want to see, I mean, how many teams are in baseball? 30, 32, whatever it is. I'm not trying to see 18 teams in the playoffs. Like, what the hell? Like, what's the point of the regular season? You know what I mean? Like, there needs to be value. You're having these guys play 162 games. If by game 162, you're not good enough to be one of those 5 or 6 teams in your conference to make the playoffs, you are not good enough. Plain and simple, you're not good enough. 162 games is more than enough of a sample size. You know what I mean? So, and it's way too many games. It's a lot of games. I mean, the thing that baseball has in their back pocket, and then that feather in that cap kind of thing, is NBA is over in June. Hockey is done in June. NFL regular season don't start until September. So from about like June to September, they got a monopoly. Like, they really run shit in the United States of America when it comes to professional sports. I mean, there's literally nothing else. You're watching baseball and that's it. So they can play all these games because they can. But to me, if you're going to have all these teams play all these games, by game 162, you should know the top, I would say at the most 6, where the top, you know, or 5 or whatever. It's like the 3 division winners, the 4, 5. I don't know. Well, I'll see. I'll kind of go back and look, but expanding the playoffs any more than what it is right now is kind of just, to me, it's just a little much. A little much. in my opinion. Plus, I'm not trying to have these guys play baseball in December. Like what the hell are we gonna do? Plus, also with when you watch the NFL, look, they're on Monday, they're on Thursday, and they're on Sunday, and we're gonna get to a point where you're probably on Tuesdays as well or something. So like you're gonna have a big, and I've seen it happen, a big time World Series game going up against a mediocre Thursday night football game, and that mediocre Thursday night football game always wins. So like they need to just do a better job with just scheduling and not having like this season run longer than it needs to. It's a spring sport to me. It's spring and summer. Leave it at that. Once you start bleeding into November, it's like, bro, it's the hump for October. You get through October. By Halloween, this shit should be over. First week of November at the max. At the very max, first 3 days of November. Because like I remember when the Phillies and the Rays played, I remember like the weather was bad in Philadelphia. And I was like, well, I forgot it was like a storm or a hurricane, like something happened in Philly where I was like, damn, a snowstorm. It was something weird. I gotta go back and recollect my memory. So just little thing. They just need to just keep competition in sports. Not everyone gets a participation trophy, and people need to be less greedy. And the people I'm talking about are the people up top. That's kind of my conclusion. But it's always going to be something with the MLB. It's a sad fact, but it is what it is because it's always controversial linked to baseball. It's just how I see it now.
Yeah, it's very unfortunate, man. Because like all I want to do is just watch baseball, and you're not going to be able to see it on time.
Like Robert Manfred is a fair weather baseball fan because he don't really like baseball. Let's keep it real. He's just a figurehead for a sport that's called baseball, for a league that's called MLB. I don't really think he gives a shit about any of this. So he's like the wrong person to be representing all this shit anyway. So
yeah. You can just tell from the press conference and his emotions.
Yeah.
Like it was a shit show, man. Like you would never see Adam Silver come up that way or Roger Goodell ever come out that way, man. Like this guy, like he's, I don't know. Like I just feel like he's just. And then even at that, they have like during the negotiations, I forgot where they're at. They're at like some minor league stadium somewhere. But like he was golfing. Like they got videos of him just like golfing out there. Like, come on, man. Like take this shit serious. They're cutting checks for you. Like you're supposed to be representing baseball and you're gonna go play golf.
It was like when Palenka was at Disneyland on the last day of the trade deadline. Like, bro, y'all are in crisis. Or what's his name from Texas was in Mexico while his state was about to freeze or whatever. I'm like, bro, what are y'all doing? Like, look, you see these dudes in Ukraine, the president, boxers, wives, it don't matter. They're at the front lines of a war.
Bearing arms
Where you got what's his name playing golf, other boy at Disneyland. That's just that is the problem with society. It's like baseball right now is like a microcosm of society. What's going on? It's just the billionaires want to stay billionaires and they want to get rid of the middle class and just have more money for themselves. So that's just how I see it. But
I agree with you.
I'm not an economics major or anything like that. I just call it like I see it.
Yeah, no, I agree with you 100% there, man. It's just unfortunate, man. Like I hope something happens. I hope they can resolve this because if more games get canceled and like honestly, I could honestly see the season being canceled. Like I could see it happening because these guys they're holding their ground. They're holding their ground good. And like Andrew Miller is very vocal about everything that he says going on. And he's like, it's time that we said something because we go out there and we play 162 games a year and COVID put an impact on a lot of things as well. But like to not be compensated correctly and like know your value for shit, like come on, man. Like there's guys that they bring up and they don't want to pay. Like the Rays are a prime example. I'm not trying to like dog the Rays, but look at them. They bring up minor league talent, so they have to play that money ball thing. They got to bring up the minor league talent. But if that guy's up just the amount of time to get paid, they send him back down so he won't get incentivized. So
shout out to Wander Franco, though, get that money. If he's able to get that money, I don't know how that shit works with all this. Yeah. But like you go back to the history. That's all you can do. When the 94-95 one happened, I mean, they literally, first of all, in '94 they canceled the World Series. I mean, come on, that went from August to '94 to April '95. Like that's pathetic. So it's not like it's impossible that this season may not happen, but obviously, you just wish cooler heads will eventually kind of just prevail here. But look, like I said, the one thing I'll give baseball, like these players, they're not going to be walked all over. Like not like that's like the one league where like the players do get their way. Like for as much as they will make it a point to get their way. And the owners, that's why the owners are pissed off. They're finally pushing back. They're like, look, we giving so and so $400 million, and y'all complaining about the minor leaguer. Well, yeah, the minor league needs to get paid too.
Yeah, they didn't get paid. They didn't get paid all during COVID. They actually cut the games, and
Yeah,
guys
like,
didn't get paid.
that's
Guys working. Guys working in restaurants.
That's the problem. Like they just look at them as just player number one, player number two, rather than Giancarlo. His name is not Giancarlo anymore. What's his name? Stanton.
His name is Giancarlo Stanton. It used to be Mike Stanton.
Oh, that's what. Yeah, he is Giancarlo. It was Mike Stanton, right? Do you remember why he changed his name? I don't remember.
That's his legal name is Giancarlo. Mike's like what he nicknamed. His middle name, I think, is Mike.
Oh, okay. Yeah, but yeah, he's not player number one. He's Giancarlo Stanton and Aaron Judge or whatever. They're people at the end of the day. So that's where I'm at with all this bullshit. But
I applaud them for sticking up for the minor leaguers too, because one, they had to pay their dues in the minors as well, so they know how it is. It's not like an easy job in the minors, man. You got to travel a lot. And it's not by airplane.
Buses and shit.
Buses and in small towns, and
you're going to Pahokee or some shit, or Peoria, Illinois, and shit like that.
Yeah, and even at that, like you could be called up and you're on a plane immediately to New York or to Texas or to Chicago, and then you go right back, and then it's a constant thing, nonstop. So you're sacrificing a lot of mileages on your body, traveling as well as playing, and then being subbed into a lineup just like that in one night. Like, hey, you're gonna play shortstop.
Ready? Are you ready, sir? Are you ready? Let's go. Let's go.
Exactly. The most like lights on you position. So it's crazy to think that minor league baseball during COVID was completely shut down, axed, and nobody was paid. Some players weren't even retained. Some players just like walked away from it. So it's hopefully baseball can resolve this. I'm hoping, but yesterday's press conference was very, very disturbing to see.
Minor league baseball, most minor leaguers will make between $8,000 and $14,000. I mean, these people's livelihoods. Like, this is all they got. They're trying to make it out of a situation.
They're gambling on themselves, man.
Yeah, they're trying to make it out of a situation, and they're making $8,000 to $14,000. I mean, I can go work at Walmart and make more than that. Shit.
Dude. Like this is like funny, but like it's also a joke to think like how rich these organizations are. When I lived in Fort Myers, the Twins had a tryout for you to make the minor league team, but you had to pay. Could you imagine? Like I make the team, but I had to pay. Like,
bro, that's like some high school shit.
Yeah, like if there's talent there and it's good, sign the guy. But I mean, pay $25 to come try out. Like, okay, don't even hold a tryout then. Doesn't make any sense to me. I wouldn't waste my time and go to that shit, but oh well.
It is what
baseball do better. We say that every time on the show, every time we talk about you, do better.
I hate to talk shit about the MLB, boy. That's I remember the good old days of baseball, and we're far from that.
We are. It's a crybaby sport now. Everybody cries about everything. Oh, he cheated. Oh, he did this. Oh, this guy did that. Oh, were you doing that too? I didn't get caught though.
I should boycott baseball until Barry Bonds gets into the Hall of Fame, which at this point I don't know if that's possible anymore. I think his time is up. I think there's like a governorship of like former players and like a few writers. I think it's like 20 people who can vote. They can still kind of write him in by the end of this calendar year. I think that's still on the table for him. But if I had my way, I would just boycott this shit until they put my dog Barry in, because shit.
Barry and Roger Clemens should be in there.
I know, like I don't even like Roger Clemens, and he deserves to be in there. Like, I'm just gonna keep. I mean, yeah, of course he should be in there. Like it's just It is what it is.
He's one of the most dominant pitchers of all time. Him
And
and
he and
Barry
he pitched
Bonds.
it, and he pitched at Sugarland, which is like down the street, like where my parents live. He pitched down the street from my parents live. T Mac actually played in that league too.
Too, yeah.
Yeah,
But
Sugarland.
Barry Bonds before the stats too, man. But before the Royd era, like dude was an MVP with the Pirates, man. Like he was a good player. So
He was getting pitched to by people on Roy's too, and he was still banging them bitches out. So whatever.
yeah, two wrongs don't make a right? So whatever. All right, let's shift to football. We're just gonna discuss off season with speculations, with combines, with draft, with all that. It's all open dialogue. So
Bro, aren't you excited? Aren't you excited? You
I
have
am,
two
man.
picks in the
I
top
love that.
10. I've been seeing some of y'all some mock drafts. Y'all might make out of here like some bandits here. Y'all might make out of here looking good.
I hope somehow. I don't think it's gonna happen, but I hope Thibodeau falls to us. That would be great.
He will. I think he will.
He could, but
I think he might slip past y'all though. But
they'll be stupid to pass up on him. But if they draft Kyle Hamilton, I swear to New York fans are already like sending messages to Salah like, don't draft Kyle Hamilton.
Why?
He plays for Notre Dame, bro. Like, I don't want any Notre Dame
Who gives
guys.
a shit?
I want that kid. If we get a DB, I want the kid from LSU.
Derek Stingley.
Yeah, I want him.
First of all, Sauce Gardner out of Cincinnati is probably better than him. Derek Stingley just has football in his blood, as far as his uncle. I think his dad, his grandfather both played in the NFL, if I'm not mistaken. But Kyle Hamilton is the real. Listen, I have my reservations about Notre Dame myself.
I just don't like.
I'm gonna keep it a buck. I'm gonna keep it a buck, $50, $200, $1,000 with you. Kyle Hamilton is a monster. Is a monster, bro. And we talk about people don't like to put value in drafting safeties high because you can get a safety in any round. Basically, you can get a safety from anywhere. But there's something about having a game changer as a safety, or somebody who can really change your life in the back end. I know you had Jamal, and you probably just have like PTSD on. He didn't really do much for you, and he wanted to leave and all that stuff. So I get it.
Jamal was great for us. I got no PTSD.
He didn't want to be there.
No, he wanted to be here. They didn't want to sign him and keep him. He wanted to be here. They didn't want to extend him.
This dude, Kyle Hamilton, man, he's 6'4", 225 pounds. He has no character issues. He's fast. He's strong. Shit, he will protect the back end of your defense, and that's in the game that we played today, where the middle of the field is always open. That is a dude that you want to protect the middle of your field. I'm telling you. And luckily, we'll see what all these other teams do, but you do know the Bills are going to air that bitch out, and you do know that Josh Allen's going to get loose in the pocket. And it's hard to tackle Josh Allen. You need a big dude. Once he gets past your defensive line and your linebackers, you gotta have a how like Derrick Henry, once he gets to the second level, it's a wrap, because everyone's scared to tackle him. Kyle Hamilton's not gonna be scared to tackle these big boys like Josh Allen and them. I'm telling you, I would not be, bro. I would trade up. I would trade up and go get him. And we gonna get a mock draft done. We're gonna do a mock draft after the combine, so we can see what the hell's going on. But I would trade up to go get him.
I want best available that's there. If Thibodeau's there, they better get Thibodeau. I want a wide receiver too, bro. Like I'd be happy with London Drake. I'd be happy with him if they got him with the second or 10th pick.
I have not seen. I watched some tape about him earlier. He played basketball and football. I love dual sport athletes because he's like what, 6'5" or something like that. However, the last dude wide receiver that we drafted from the West Coast was JJ Arcega-Whiteside. So I'm a little. I have my reservations right now about West Coast receivers, but
USC receivers been balling though since coming in the league, man. All the USC receivers have been doing good.
Who, Juju?
Same. Amon-Ra Brown is doing pretty good with the Lions.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. I mean, I don't know. I mean, I would say
Listen,
as,
front of me,
as a
but
receiver,
lately they've been
to,
they've been panning out.
to me, I'll be looking at one of these Ohio State boys, Garrett Wilson, Chris Olave. Like, well, either one of those two, I feel like would probably be better suited,
So
especially with the skill set that you have with Zach Wilson being elusive in the pocket. You need like
what skill?
speed.
What
Garrett
skill? He
Wilson
can't get
is,
out the pocket.
huh?
What skill? He can't get out the pocket.
He can
He's
get out the
gobbled up
pocket. His
immediately.
offensive line is terrible. Why? Which is why y'all you talk about Kayvon Thibodeau. Fantastic. I would want him too. But y'all need to get one of these two offensive linemen because y'all got what pick number. So here's how I see it. I think Jacksonville's gonna go either Evan Neal or the other dude who everyone keeps talking about. He's Nigerian cat from NC State. Ekwanwu, whatever, however you say his name. My bad.
Nigerian, bro. So
My
get it.
Nigerian brother. So we already know, I feel like it's a fact that Jacksonville is going to take one of those two offensive linemen. And it's a fact that the Lions are going to take Aiden Hutchinson. So it comes down to what the Texans do. If the Texans take Thibodeau, y'all need to go get this offensive lineman. The best available, either Buddy from Alabama or Buddy from NC State. Because y'all listen, at the end of the day, how it works, we saw what happened to Joe Burrow in the Super Bowl. It worked all the way till the end of the year until it couldn't work no more. He got sacked 71 times in this calendar year. He got sacked 9 times versus the Titans. It's just Ryan Tannehill's just trash. Okay, he got 7 times in the Super Bowl. No matter how prolific your wide receivers are, like that last play of the game that he got sacked, but he kind of threw the ball away, so it wasn't officially a sack. Jamar Chase was wide open down the field because Jalen Ramsey fell. So as great as Jamar Chase is, because they couldn't protect Joe Burrow 1 second longer, he didn't have time to see how open Jamar Chase was. And that's, at the end of the day, I'm always a proponent that you win with an offensive line. You win with the O-line and D-line, and everything else will kind of work out. So y'all need to scratch all the skill position stuff. Don't scratch Kyle Hamilton. You don't need him. Go get you the best O-lineman available and the best D-lineman available, and then carry on. Well, that's how I would do if I was the Jets.
I want to, bro. Don't talk about my organization, bro. They're gonna mess it up regardless. They're gonna get a guy.
Nah, Joe Douglas, man. Joe Douglas gonna take care of y'all.
Fuck Joe Douglas. Fuck Joe Douglas, bro.
Come on now.
Joe Douglas hasn't done a single good thing except tear this franchise apart since getting there. They draft players and they give up too soon on them. They butt into stars and then they give up on them. Like, look at Jamal Adams, for instance. All you had to do was extend him. All he wanted was an extension, and they wouldn't give it. They wanted to play that hard ball or
how good is Jamal Adams? Let's keep it real.
He's good.
Let's keep it real. I mean, what did he do for Seattle that was all that great?
I'm giving you examples. Look at Leonard Williams too. Leonard Williams was great with us. He was good with us. Now he's been great playing with the Giants.
How great has he been?
He's been pretty good. Look at the numbers. Look at his numbers.
I see that they're picking 5th in the draft.
I'm saying for his position. They give up on players. So even at that, what do we put there and sign with it? Nothing. There's nothing there. Quinnen Williams, we're gonna give up on him soon too. He's good too.
See, y'all hold on. That's who y'all need to hold on to. Hold on to them big boys. But look, Evan Neal, Ekongwu, Charles Cross, what's his name from Iowa, the center. Y'all need to get these big boys, man. Y'all need to go get these beef it up on the old line.
We got Elijah Vera Tucker, we drafted last year. We have Mekhi Becton. He needs to be healthy. And then, I'd get another O-line guy. Get it with the 10th pick or in the second round. Get somebody. I'd be okay with it. Take a gamble. But I mean, they need defense. There is no defense there. It's all depleted, and they need receivers. Those are the two things I want the Jets to give. But let's look at it as a whole. Let's talk about football as a whole with the combine approaching, with all these players in college that are about to come out and get drafted, and then just speculating into the offseason. I guess look at it from your standpoint. What are you excited about for Philly season to start? Do you think Jalen Hurts is going to be your starting quarterback next year?
Yeah. What's his name? What's our GM's name? Roseman. Howie Roseman. He came on. They asked him, "Man, look." He said, he's our quarterback. Sirianni said, he's our quarterback. Everybody in the organization,
they're proud of him too.
Everybody in the organization loves Jalen Hurts. Okay, like he's You know what? And I used this analogy before. It was kind of like Dak Prescott. When Dak Prescott came to the Cowboys, we knew he physically wasn't ready yet to be that guy, but we knew he has commanded the locker room. The running game looked good with him on the field because Ezekiel Elliott was balling his first couple of years while he was there. Like he was balling. And they found ways to just win games. We found a way with this trash team that we put on the field to win 9 games this year, make it to the playoffs. So after the bullshit that we went through last year with Carson Wentz, rookie head coach, basically rookie quarterback, rookie leading receiver. I mean, we had no weapons in the outfield but Devontae Smith. Angels in the outfield. That was a good movie. But anyway, so he's the guy. So all this talk about us trading our 3 first-round picks for Russell Wilson, that shit needs to go to bed. That does not help us at all. So I'm excited that we have our guy. He's not there yet. But listen, he's going into his 3rd year. This year is let's see how he does. Because if not this year or next year, look, there's some good quarterbacks coming. Caleb Williams is going to be coming down the pipe soon. Bryce Young's going to be coming down the pipe soon. So I'm not overly concerned about. And this draft class of quarterbacks, let's keep it real. It's not good, right? Like everyone's so enamored about Malik Willis, and that's pretty much it. And we don't know. Malik Willis played at Liberty, so we don't even know what the hell's going on there.
Trey Lance too, and Carson Wentz and Josh Allen. So
correct, but they were actually excited about those guys. Hence why they went 1st, 2nd, 3rd, 4th, 5th, and 6th. I've been listening to people say like they've talked to all like these scouts and stuff, and they said there's no 1st-round quarterback talent. They're gonna draft the quarterback because that's what you do, but they're not 1st-round graded talent. So as far as us, we have so many holes to fill. So I'm just excited that every single pick that we get, we just pick the best player available for what we're looking for. Who I would love to have David Ojabo, another Nigerian from the University of Michigan, who complimented Aiden Hutchinson this year. Probably made Aiden Hutchinson's life a little easier this year. I think Ojabo can not like Michael Parsons. Like Michael Parsons was, God, I'm gonna cry about that one for the next 15 years. But Ojabo can be like kind of like. Because his story is kind of similar with Jason Pierre-Paul. Like they both, like Jason Pierre-Paul was not playing football until like his junior year of high school. Same thing with Ojabo. He was not playing football. He grew up playing basketball. So he has that athletic ability as a basketball player. I told you I love dual sport athletes. He has the athleticism of a basketball player who transitioned to a pass rusher. And he's freaky off that edge. So that's who if I had to circle anybody who I would want in this draft, I would love to get me some Ojabo. I would love to get me an offensive lineman as well so we can protect my dog Jalen Hurts. And I would like to get him another weapon. But this receiving class is so deep that I don't really necessarily feel like we need to plunge for a wide receiver in the 1st round. I remember last year, it was last year or the year before, when the Bengals drafted T. Higgins. That was in the 2nd round. I remember that pick. I was like, damn, that's a really good pick. So there's definitely look at Michael Pittman Jr., look at a lot of these dudes lately who've been getting drafted in the second round. Like there's talent in the 2nd round. You just got to be a good GM to identify which one is a good player. So if we have a way to get Olave or Garrett Wilson at that 19th pick, yeah, I'd probably do that as well. But give me a pass rusher and then give me somebody else that can protect my dog Jalen. And we need some help in the secondary. So I wouldn't say, but that's just draft shit. What I'm actually excited about that's not have nothing to do with the Eagles. I'm waiting for this first domino to drop on this quarterback carousel. Like I'm waiting.
I was going to touch on that.
I'm waiting.
I was going to say every organization that these guys play for have given votes of confidence that they're all returning. Matt Ryan's coming back. Pete Carroll said.
Well, Matt Ryan's under contract, so he's definitely coming back.
Yeah, but I mean, it's controversial. People said that they may shop him because they're getting younger. Blah blah blah.
They're not going to shop Matt Ryan.
But we say the same thing about Russ, and if Russ signs it, then it was all a lost cause. Like you never know. I said this. I told you what was the one guy. I said they're going to move him. Von Miller. I said they're going to move him. You said no, they're not.
That's different. Von Miller is 35 and on his way out. Russell Wilson is at his prime.
I know that, but Matt Ryan.
They have no better option. What's behind door B? There's nobody in this draft class that the Falcons would want, and there's nobody in
Anything is
free agency they can
possible.
get.
Anything is possible. I'm just throwing it out there in my dialogue. So let me have my moment, okay?
That's
Give me my
fair.
moment.
That's fair.
Okay. So Matt Ryan is staying. Russell Wilson is staying. The Packers are saying that they're going to keep Aaron Rodgers and they're working on a short-term or possible long-term deal for him. Who's the other guy? I mean, the only guy that's out there that like isn't getting anything is Deshaun Watson. Like, and teams are calling about him. So who's going to be the first one to go is the thing.
First of all, that
Jimmy
Deshaun
G
Watson.
may stay. They said Jimmy G was like, we may
Well,
keep
Jimmy
this
G's
guy.
got shoulder surgery, and now all of a sudden, like he's out for 16 weeks. I don't know if I'm going to trade for an already what's the word? Not malnourished. Already what's the
Banged
word?
up.
Not even banged up. Well, yeah, physically he's always been banged up. That's the problem with him. But somebody who's deficient as a quarterback, because everyone knows the 49ers are a quarterback away, even with Jimmy G, who they paid a good amount of money to. Even with Jimmy G, everyone knows the 49ers are still a quarterback away. I mean, the 49ers traded up to go get Trey Lance, a project, so that they can get rid of Jimmy G. So why would I trade for somebody who's already, not really all that great, has a bad history with injuries, and now has a shoulder surgery that's going to keep him out until like August or something like that? Like, so yeah, he might very well be on that 49ers roster next year, unless Tom Brady comes back. All right, to answer your initial question, I think Aaron Rodgers gets signed sometime in the next week. I think that's going to be the first domino where I think he stays. I think they'll franchise Devontae Adams, and then they'll give Aaron Rodgers like damn near 50 a year, if not 50 a year, for 2 years, and then call it a day. So that to me will probably what happen with them. So once that domino falls, my question to you is, then what's the next domino? Because now we know if Aaron Rodgers is staying in Green Bay, what's that next domino? Is it Denver? Are they going to figure out what they're going to do? Like, what do you think is going to happen next?
I don't know, man. It's all up in the air. Carson Wentz is also tricky too, because like they want to move on, but they don't want to move on. It's like not set in stone. I feel like the right next move would be to go get Deshaun Watson, but at the same time, like he's just a PR nightmare.
Who, Denver?
So, huh?
Who, Denver?
Denver would be smart to get him, yeah.
Yeah, we talked about it last year. Potential move. We're like, yo, but if we go to Denver, that was before we knew that he was a big fan of happy endings. but yeah, that would be that would be pretty damn good.
Denver would be good. I mean, Pittsburgh will be good too. There's a lot of good places that he could end up in. It's just
I heard Pittsburgh's not trying to make a swing at no quarterback, like no big swings.
It wouldn't surprise me. I wouldn't expect that either. I think they'll ride it out with Mason Rudolph and Dwayne Haskins, which I think is a bad idea. But like Steelers have a ready to win defense right there, and the offense is just missing like 2 or 3 pieces. That's really it.
You know what I think they do? I think they draft Malik Willis.
That's what I was going to say. I think they would too.
Draft Malik Willis. I think that would be a spot for him, because you look at your division. You got Lamar Jackson right over there. You got that was drafted by Baltimore. You got Joe Burrow that was drafted by Cincinnati, who just made it to the Super Bowl. You got Baker Mayfield. Yeah, he has his issues, but he was a number 1 overall pick. So the Steelers, the last time the Steelers had a quarterback, they drafted him. So to me, that's why I don't think they're going to go out and make a swing at anybody. I thought maybe Jameis Winston. We'll kind of see what happens with him, but I think they'll probably go draft Malik. Like, we'll see how Malik does at the combine, but to me, I think that might be the move. That might be the move for them.
It's too early to call on a lot of things, because like the combine is what kind of like gets everybody excited, because we already have the speculation of what's going in. Then you got a guy like Becton that runs a 40 and like almost wide receiver numbers, and you're like, oh my God, how is this guy running a 40 that fast? He's an old lineman, and then he shoots up the draft board when he wasn't even a thought. So I like the combine. It's great. I just think at the same time, it's also a very small sample size. Like they're just doing endurance drills for the most part. And I can appreciate that. But what does he look like in the game? Who did he play against in college? Like, if you went to Liberty and you were O lineman, you're being taken in the first round, like, come on, really? Do you really want an O lineman from Liberty? Like, you're going to take that gamble, or are you going to take a guy that won a national championship with Alabama and had to see D linemen that are going first round from LSU and Auburn and stuff like that in a more competitive division? So I don't know. I like the combine, but I think sometimes talent is overlooked a lot because of it.
Well, but the thing about the combine is that pretty much for the most part, you already know who your first round is going to be. That is what it is, right?
Your first, I would say your first 10. The back end is always iffy.
Yeah, but out of let's say there's 32 first round picks, you know, you can pick about 40 players that that will at least be in that top 32. So if I gave you the top 40 players available, 32 of them are going to be selected. Who the combine really helps are those guys that come from the schools like Liberty, come like Wyoming, like Josh Allen, that come North Dakota State.
Yeah, you're right.
Helps those guys. It helps those guys who might be day 2, day 3 guys that, he looks good in the 5th round. We might, if he's there, we're gonna take him. You know what I mean? Like that kind of thing. Like Russell Wilson, he was a 3rd round pick, a 4th round pick. Dak Prescott was a 4th round pick. We're talking about starting quarterbacks that are 3rd and 4th round picks. Brady is 6th. Well, the best example of all of that is Tom Brady in the 6th round. So it really helps those guys a lot more. Obviously, the running drills and the cone drills and stuff, that's cool. It helps certain players a little bit. Obviously, to me, the big thing is health. Look, what does their health look like? Did they have, remember Michael Porter Jr. going into that draft? I know, we knew completely different sport. We knew super talented, but that back is an issue.
First overall pick, sure, if he was healthy.
He's missed half of his career because of that back issue. And he dropped from a top overall pick to number 14, I believe, because of his health. So the biggest things about the draft and about the draft combine and stuff like that, how does that medical look and character? Like, I want to see how this dude is around other people, how focused he is, if he shows up on time, like that stuff. All the other stuff, 40 time and stuff, cool, whatever. But how is he going to be in my locker room, and is he going to be healthy enough for me to invest a 1st round pick on, or a 2nd round pick for somebody I want to have in my organization for 10 years? So that to me is the biggest thing about the combine. But it's still fun. It's still fun to watch.
I'm excited. I really love the NFL draft season. It's definitely a fun time to watch.
I'm looking forward to doing these mock drafts, because last year we had a little bit of fun with it last year. So
I'll be more realistic. I won't put for Devontae Smith. I'll be realistic with this one.
Yeah, it's hard. The problem about doing a mock draft is that we have teams that we like and teams that we hate in that mock draft. So we'll probably lean towards picking guys that we want and hoping the Cowboys don't take that guy, or hoping the Patriots don't take that guy. So yeah, that's the only issue with it.
You lean with what you want too, and what your team, like I have a crappy team that I root for, and they just need everything, to be honest with you, and they're going to draft whatever they need, whatever they think, and not like best available, or who knows, they could even pass on like a Kayvon Thibodeau if he's there and go get Kyle Hamilton. They're just like, why would you do that? Yeah. But that's what they think they need. So it's a question mark with at least with my organization when it comes to drafting. Second round for you, it's kind of what's going on here.
Second round of what?
Drafts. I know. When was JJ Arcia Whiteside drafted in the 1st round or 2nd round?
Why are we mentioning that man's name? We did also draft Jalen Reagor over Justin Jefferson.
Jalen Reagor too, yeah.
So yeah. I mean, I remember looking at it, going into that draft. I had never heard of the kid in my life. So we draft, bro. You know how all people say who? Remember that Snoop Dogg who? Like, bro, that was the biggest who I've ever had in my life. I still remember. I was sitting on the couch, and I remember I didn't have a haircut. Oh, that was during the pandemic. That was 2020, bro. I was looking busted up, and I remember I didn't have a haircut. I'm looking crazy. We're freaking locked down. It's this weird virtual draft with Bill Belichick has his cat or dog or something on the seat. I'm like, this is weird as it is. And then with the number 22 or 21 or 22 pick of the NFL draft, I'm waiting. Justin Jefferson. Philadelphia Eagles select Jalen Reagor, TCU. I'm like, who the bro, I've never been so mad in my life, though. I'm like, at least like with JJ Arcega-Whiteside at that time, I was actually happy with the pick. I didn't realize. I heard DK Metcalf had heart issues or back issues. I'm like, whatever. And I was like, oh, he's 6'5", he can jump high, go, yeah, maybe he'll work. But man, terrible, 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 nightmare. However, I got my next thing I'm excited about, or I kind of wanted to have a conversation with you about, because I think it's pretty interesting. We talk about quarterback carousel. We talk about head coaching carousel. You know what carousel we don't talk about? Take a wild guess.
GM carousel?
No, the carousel of NFL commentators being moved, they're getting paid and moving around, bruh. So obviously, I think it happened last week, but we didn't talk about it because I didn't know if it was official. But Troy Aikman is taking his talents to Monday Night Football, and he about to get paid. Like, I think it's like a 5-year, $80 million deal or something like that. Tony Romo getting paid $20 million. Like, it's Tony's fault, by the way. Tony Romo got to CBS and blew the doors off. I mean, blew the doors off of the competition. And now, look at all sports. You're seeing it in baseball, too. You're seeing it in baseball. You're seeing it now. They're talking about Derek Jeter possibly having a Jeter cast. You got Eli and Peyton Manning have the Manning cast. You got Troy Aikman going to Monday Night Football. You got Al Michaels thinking about it. You got Sean McVay thinking about leaving coach. Like, Sean Payton quit. Like, he might go get $20 million to go do Amazon. Like, what do you think about this new wave of, like, we gonna pay buku money so someone can go talk about football for 3 hours?
I mean, I'm okay with it, because then we're gonna get Al Michaels and Chris Collinsworth, and I'd rather listen to Fran Drescher talk about politics for an hour than hear that shit, man.
Collinsworth is going to get paid a lot of money too, because Al Michaels wants him, and I think Al Michaels is going to Amazon.
Yo, send Al Michaels wherever, bro. I just put him on Nickelodeon, man. I don't want him anymore. I can't stand listening to Al Michaels, bro.
What's wrong with Al? He's like a sweet old man.
Screw that, man. Al Michaels.
What's wrong with Al? What's wrong with Al? What he do to you?
He's boring, bro. He's boring, and his toupee is definitely like airbrushed on there, man.
I think you're more mad at Chris Collinsworth than Al Michaels.
Bro, they're both boring. They're like the puppets. They're like they're like the puppets from what is it? The Muppets that are up in the booth. Look at this guy here. Screw that, man.
Here we go.
just like coaching, just like sports, everything's changing. You want people you can relate to. You can't relate to those guys. They've seen it all. I got to see John Madden call his first game. Dude, John Madden's dead. Rest in peace.
Well, the
man.
thing about Chris Collinsworth is that, hey, he played the game and he played it at a high level. I mean, who people don't even know this about him that don't know about
wide
football.
Receiver too.
He was a wide receiver for the Bengals, and he all his records are finally about to get broken by Jamar Chase of all people. Not even Chad Johnson. Jamar Chase is the one that's breaking his record. So yeah, he knows the game from a skill position standpoint. I know he's quirky and whatever. We're getting tired of hearing here's a guy and here's a guy and here's a guy. But listen, as much as I don't like Troy Aikman, I would take Troy Aikman over Booger McFarland, over Jason Witten, over all the bullshit that they've tried since John Gruden left. They've failed miserably. Even this crew right here, they're okay. But I found myself going to the Manning cast because I didn't want to hear Steve Levy and all these guys anymore. Troy Aikman, though, as somebody, because you live in the AFC world, I live in the NFC world. And in the NFC world, at 4:25 p.m. on a Sunday, for the most part, it's going to be Troy Aikman and Joe Buck. And with that being said, the Eagles have had some success. So whenever Joe Buck and Troy Aikman are calling an Eagles game, I'm like, oh shit, this is a big game. And I love that feeling, like, oh shit, this is a big game. So Monday Night Football every week, because I think Troy Aikman wants to bring Joe Buck with him, which would be weird to see Joe Buck on ESPN. But he wants him. He wants him. And I don't know. I mean, as much as I don't like their comment, Troy Aikman specifically commentary because he's such a Cowboy lover, and you can just hear it in his
Exactly.
voice.
Everything is
You
Cowboys.
can
This is
just
how
hear
we
it in
gotta
his
look at
voice.
Cowboys.
At
Like
least
Teddy
you know
Bruschi.
the Monday Night
Yeah.
Football games will feel they're a little bit bigger now with their voices there. I mean, they are. Like, remember when John Madden used to call the game back in the day? It felt like, all right, this is a big game.
Boom.
It's a Brett Favre game. Like, oh, this is a big game, right? Tony Romo has made that possible. He really has. So I don't know. I think it's pretty cool to see all this all these dudes get paid. And that's why go back to all the labor shit that's going on in the MLB. It's going to happen in the NFL. It's going to happen in basketball. When they start seeing that announcers are getting paid more than the players who actually play the game. Like, Tony Romo makes more money than Kyler Murray, right? Like, how does Kyler Murray? I scrub my Instagram too. I'm like, damn, Tony Romo making how much? Shit. I'm the face of the franchise. So I
But
get
he's
it a little
entertaining.
bit.
That's the thing. I'd rather entertaining commentating or breaking down of the plays that happen. Like Tony Romo's just a good football mind, and like he's not Chris Collinsworth dinosaur fossil thing. It's like I don't know. You gotta get blood in there that people can relate to, and that's entertaining. I mean, at least with like NBA or with TNT, like at least Charles Barkley, Shaq, and them are like big kids, so you can like relate to them
But
and
the
they're fun.
difference
And
is that they're in the studio. They're not doing play by play.
true, you're
Like
right.
the
I mean,
people
Kenny
doing
Smith
play
is
by play for basketball right now, the only ones I really like is still Mark Jackson and them.
yeah. Mike Breen, gotta
Mike
love
Breen, Mark Jackson, and Jeff Van Gundy. And they're old. I mean, they're not like young bucks or anything like that. Reggie Miller to an extent, but he's a little corny. They got rid of Chris Webber, which I miss Chris Webber.
I miss Chris Webber too.
Grant Hill, he's okay. Like, you look at the young guys in the NBA doing it. There's nobody who's like, wow, he's really good. Like, it's
Chris Webber,
literally.
I like Chris Webber, man. I don't know why they got rid of him, man.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. It's always something with somebody. It's always something with Chris Webber. Like, I'm happy he finally getting into the Hall of Fame, but it's always something with Chris. It's for his whole career. Ever since he called timeout, he called timeout. Ever since then, it's been like always something with him. But yeah, you're right. There should be some good young blood coming in football. But hey, this is where we are. Al Michaels is 78, still wants another job.
Yeah, man. I mean, it is what I thought he was going to retire this year, but I mean, Amazon jumping in now is going to be gold mine for him if he goes there because he's got the name, the resume, he's called it all. I've never been excited to see a Chris Collinsworth and Al Michaels game, to be honest with you.
It's still Sunday Night Football still has that feel. Like when those two are on the call, it feels like no matter how bad we think they suck, it still feels like it's a big game. Like, all right, it's a big game. If Joe Buck and Troy Aikman are on, if Jim Nance and Tony Romo, if Chris Collinsworth and Al Michaels, if they're on, all right, this is gonna be a game, right? So I don't know, media is changing, but I'm telling you, what we're gonna see this metaverse about to take off, man. Y'all just be ready for that. Y'all be ready for this metaverse to take off.
All right, let's go to NBA now. Let's talk about the future of the NBA. I mean, we've been seeing it since the All-Star game and a little bit before, actually all year, man. Ja Morant is putting on a show, and Stephen A said it best. He's just a taller version of Allen Iverson for the most part.
I'm mad. Y'all wait till Stephen A to say that because I definitely said this already about him. I said Ja Morant when I close my eyes and I wake up and I look at the TV and I see Ja Morant playing. I go like this, I gotta wipe the cold out my eyes, see who's this paging me and why. It's Ja Morant on the TV screen. I'm like, damn, that dude remind me of Allen Iverson. Like how Allen Iverson made me feel. My all-time favorite player, Allen Iverson. How he made me feel when I first saw him play basketball is kind of what Ja Morant is doing for me right now. Like, and I remember like last year, you talking all that shit on Twitter saying I didn't say this. I said I have a short list. I gave you 5 players. I said Booker. I said Luka. I said Giannis.
This was what I wrote for.
And I said Ja Morant was on that short list. And as I got later and I looked at my old tweets, I always fact check myself. I'll be saying, yo, Ja Morant's that dude. Ja Morant's that dude.
I didn't
Zion.
say John that dude.
I said Zion. I don't know about him. Ja Morant's a safe
I
pick.
think we
Like
all said that about
I've been saying
Zion.
so, but I've been on this Ja Morant wave since I would say like college. I wasn't really onto him until like
I
the
wasn't
tournament.
either.
It wasn't until the tournament I was like, oh, he's for real, because he's doing this shit in the big stage, right?
It
But
wasn't until the draft where I got to watch more video of him, and I was like, okay, this kid's
yeah, he
pretty
played at
nice.
Murray State. What am I supposed to do with Murray State? I'm sorry. Like, what am I supposed to do with that? But yeah, this kid's for real, man. Like I pray on everything that he doesn't end up like Derrick Rose. That's all I
Oh, me
ask.
too.
That's all I ask.
I'm open too because he's kind of like a contortionist too when he drives. So
Bruh. But
and he
he
wants to be on a highlight reel every night, man.
every night. God, but that shit that he pulled against the Spurs, the dunk and then the
The
0.4 second
buzzer
Derek
beater,
Fisher shit, I was like, golly, who is this guy?
he's a special talent, and ESPN was talking about it before tip off tonight. They were saying, is he going to be the future face of the NBA? I could probably see it, man. If he keeps playing the way he's doing, and I could see him as a good person to pass the torch to. But I mean, Memphis in general is just not a place that we've known to be a go play. But when you got a kid like this, I mean,
That turned some heads.
and
That's gonna turn some heads.
Woj was talking about like the pick that they've got that they got from the Lakers that was sent to the Pelicans. It could go back to the Pelicans, depending on the Lakers' record, and they would possibly have like I think 2 or 3 first round picks, and then on top of that, they're like one of the ninth lowest in salaries. Like, dude,
Listen,
it's an enticing place to go play if you want to play with Ja Morant.
Milwaukee, whoever said Milwaukee was a cool destination to go. Giannis just made that shit cool. Denver, Jokic is making that shit cool. And now Memphis.
Oh, we gotta give Jokic some flowers right now, bro.
Yeah,
We
we
do
do.
because like no Jamal Murray, no Michael Porter Jr. And this guy is like a silent, and I mean he won MVP last year, but he's a silent MVP candidate. Like
Yo,
he's like the back end, but like look at what they're doing. That's insane. You gotta give them some
I'll
flowers.
keep it a buck, man. I'll keep it a buck. You know my dog and B, that's my boy, right?
And
But
B's my MVP. And
but
B's my
this
MVP.
dude is clicking at his heels. How he has this team playing this well, like as a big man and unathletic big man at that. He's not no Giannis. He's not no Embiid. He's not none of these big men that can do shit. He's a big slob looking, middle European looking guy, and he balling.
Could you
And
imagine? Could you imagine? It's not going to happen. We're not going to see it because none of these organizations are going to let these guys go. If him and Luka were on the same team,
I think it's gonna happen.
I don't think Denver will
Bro,
let
I
Jokic
don't know
go.
when, I don't know how, but that to me would be a match made in heaven.
That would be a match made in
That's
heaven.
what Luka needs.
They're gonna win so much, man.
Actually, no. Will that work?
I think so.
Because they both ball dominate.
I don't see them as that. I see them both as a lot of team, or they play Europe style basketball.
True.
Like
Correct.
Jokic still passes the ball for a big man.
You are absolutely correct.
Absolutely. You got to look at European basketball is different from NBA basketball. When you come over here, we see him as ball dominant, but still, like, let's not lie, Luka's getting like almost 10 assists a game, and Jokic is getting like 6 or 7.
Eight. Jokic is giving you 25, 14 rebounds, and 8 assists a game, and 1.4 steals in case that's not enough. I'm like, what the fuck?
No, give this man some flowers.
How is this man? Like, honestly, I'll that's somebody that I wouldn't say I necessarily need to apologize to him because I never said he was trash or anything like that.
We just don't talk about him.
But we don't talk about him enough. And that dude, he deserves every flower that he wants because he's a beast. So and the thing about Denver, talking about team future, because Memphis is a scary team to in the playoffs once they get in because they're young and they can do shit. Denver is scary because they're doing all this shit, and Michael Porter Jr. and Jamal Murray are probably going to be back this month. Mm-hmm. I mean, it's going to be you have to adjust to them and then the lineup and everything. You probably don't want to overwork them, but right now Denver is 36-25 at 6 in the West, so they wouldn't have to worry about a play-in just yet. They would have to play Memphis in the first round had it if it all ends today or some shit. But I mean,
I think Memphis could take down. I think they could take down Memphis, no problem.
that would be a fantastic series. Ja Morant and those young bucks he got coming behind them against the MVP Jokic, and he got Jamal Murray coming back, Michael Porter Jr. coming back, Austin Rivers in the league. That would be a dynastic. But another team that we're not giving flowers to, who I admit I screwed up on, Minnesota, the T Wolves. They've been balling. I mean, they're 34-29. I mean, let's put this in perspective. They have 7 more wins than the Los Angeles Lakers. 7 more wins than the Los Angeles Lakers. And Karl Anthony Towns, I think he was having a good season, but him winning that 3-point competition got the eyes right back on him again, because we've always expected a lot out of Karl Anthony Towns. You know, he's been dealing with injuries and loss and stuff like that. So, you know, it's been a weird
family too, man. It's family, man.
Yeah, he's been dealing with a lot of different shit over the last couple of years, but seeing him playing this well again right now, and he's got his team looking pretty decent right now. That's a dangerous one right there. Golly. I'm looking at the middle.
They're just miss. It's like there's 3 monsters there. There's 3 monsters and everything else. Like I couldn't tell you anybody else on that team really. I mean, Pat Bev's there too, but Pat Bev is irrelevant to me.
Yeah, but they got Anthony Edwards, and that's all you need.
Anthony Edwards,
Cat, D'Lo, and Cat, and we're gonna make it happen.
It's the young core. Yeah, no, I think so, but I just feel like there's just something missing there.
I think Pat Bev gives them that veteran leadership that they need, though. Like every young team needs that veteran. Like that's my only issue I have with Memphis is as great and as fantastically talented they are. Who's the grown up in the locker room?
Jonas Valanciunas isn't, or is it? He's not there, is he? Or is it? It's Adams, Steve Adams.
Steven Adams.
Steven Adams.
Yeah, I guess he is. But Steven Adams, how old is Steven Adams? Guess how old he is.
I would say 30.
I don't even think he's 30. I think he's like
30 or 29.
I think he's like 27 or something like that. He's 28 years old. They're grown up as a 28-year-old. Like he's still a kid. He just looks like he's a grown-ass man that's fought in wars and shit. But nah, he's 28. So yeah. To me, they if they had, remember how like Chris Paul came to Phoenix and changed their life? It's that simple. It's that simple, bro. It's that simple. They just need a grown up to be in the locker room when the rubber needs to meet the road. They just need a grown up to just calm everybody down. To me, that is what they need. Outside of that, Memphis looks good. Denver will look good, but I mean, the class of the West is still, they got to go through Phoenix. You think they're still gonna be straight? I mean, Chris Paul's gonna miss some games, and they've lost 2 in a row now. But you think
Booker's in protocol too, so
he's in protocol. Yeah, they might slip, but I think Golden State, they've lost 2 in a row as well without Draymond Green. Bro, that team is so different. Like that's another dude we need to give flowers to. Draymond Green's importance to that basketball team is people just don't get it.
He's the glue.
He's the glue. Every great team. That's why I look at this Ben Simmons situation in Brooklyn. The only way that's going to work is if he accepts that his role is a more athletic Draymond Green. If he doesn't accept that as his role, they will flounder and they will fail. But that's how great and important Draymond Green is to that glue and that nucleus. I'm telling you, that first championship that they won against Cleveland, they don't win that without Draymond Green. And then, I mean, we can debate the next ones with Kevin Durant, but obviously Kevin Durant being there helped. But even that 2016 one, he got suspended for a game, and everyone thinks that's the reason why they lost, even though he was there for Game 6 and Game 7. But anyway, Game 7, had they won that game, he would have won the Finals MVP. He had a triple-double in Game 7. Like, he's like 27, 10, and 10 or something like that. So that dude is for real. So I still think Phoenix is the team that you got to deal with the most, because Chris Paul's issue is a hand and Draymond Green's issue is a back. I'll take a hand issue over a back any day. The back is not what you want to have hurt. So I still think Phoenix is the team that you got to beat over there.
I think so too, but I think I don't know. I'm more set on the Warriors. I think the Warriors are going to get some pieces right back at the right time. And
And
and they're
don't say
gonna.
James Wiseman because everyone keeps saying James Wiseman. I haven't seen anything yet. Sorry, I've not. I'm tired of hearing James Wiseman. James Wiseman. I've not seen anything. He didn't play in college. He
The
basically didn't play his
Warriors,
rookie year. He's not played basketball in 3 years.
the Warriors develop talent. That's all I can say. And the best one who's developing,
Who?
making they develop players. What are you talking about? Like
Jordan Poole.
Gary Payton, yeah, Jordan Poole, Gary Payton Jr. Like, come on, like Gary Payton Jr.'s been like 8 teams, and now he's like he has a role.
Fine.
They develop players.
I'm being a hater.
Give Wiseman some time, but I feel like Draymond Green's getting the best out of him. Draymond Green bullies that kid into being a better player, and you saw it with the first half of the season. Like, I remember his first game, he dropped like 15 or 16 points with 11 boards or something like that. And Draymond Green was all on him, still like telling him, you got to be here, you got to be here. Then when they benched him, he was still hard on him. So James Wiseman's a second overall pick. You can't slouch on that, man. And we always said the Warriors are never going to get a big man, and they finally go get a big man 2 overall, and he's going to factor in somewhere. But I'm not saying he's the thing to make them better. I just think the Warriors, like Steph is just a cheat code.
You know who else was a number 2 overall pick? Hashim Thabit, big man. From the school that you love, UConn.
He wasn't the Warriors' second round pick.
I'm just saying he was a number 2 overall big man from UConn.
That was Memphis. So
that don't mean shit to me. Number 2 overall pick don't mean shit to me. Sam Bowie got drafted over Michael Jordan, number 2 overall pick.
I know, but Hashim Thabit had this is year 2 for this kid. He's coming back. Like his rookie year, he started off hot and then got hurt, and then
bro, what a disappointment Hashim Thabit was.
Yeah, man, you're telling me, man, I really liked him a lot, but he was a great shot blocker.
Do you know the most points per game he ever averaged in his career was 3?
Hashim Thabit wouldn't surprise me.
The most he ever averaged in his career was 3 points. A number 2 overall pick. That's terrible. Rebounds at his height, 7'3". The most he ever averaged, 3.6 rebounds. Oh my God. Blocks, the most, 1. Jeez Louise.
But he was a monster in college, man. That's all I can say.
College.
Uh-huh. Well.
Are we gonna give any respect to the Miami Heat yet?
Oh, I give respect to them. I like what the Heat are doing, man. I'm talking about all the Youngtown and then the future of the NBA is what I want to talk about.
Yeah.
Tyler Hero and Bam, like they're good for me, man. I was a big Tyler Hero hater, but I think now he's got his role and he knows where he fits in and plays the role he needs to play. If he needs to start, he starts. Comes off the bench fresh, drops you 20 a game. Like he's good. And Bam, dude, you saw that play that Ben had the other night where he just like stayed with the defender. He got shook and stayed with the defender and block. Like, dude,
that's
Bam
Nigerian for you. That's a Nigerian for you. There you go.
Bam is nasty, man. I love Bam Adebayo, man.
And they're getting another Nigerian back too, Victor Oladipo.
Yeah, supposedly
we'll see what we're getting from, but they don't need him to be a top tier player. They just need him to be serviceable at this point.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, get in where you fit in, bro. Like they're set. Their starting 5 is set. You weren't going to factor in. You're going to be off the bench. So,
yeah, I mean, Boston been looking good. I mean, there's a lot of. To me, this is such a deep East and West. I mean, think about it. Miami, all the way down to Brooklyn. All of them could win a championship. Not a championship. Get to the finals. Cleveland, maybe not so much, but
Cleveland's gonna come down a bit. I mean, Evan Mobley, I'm happy. Rookie of the year for sure for me.
I was gonna say, who's the front runner? Because we talk about young guys. Who's the front runner?
It's got to be Evan Mobley or Cade Cunningham. Cade Cunningham's putting on a show, and like people aren't like giving him his flowers either because he plays in Detroit, where you're not going to get a lot of exposure. But Cade Cunningham's doing some things, man. But Evan Mobley, like he's a big man who can shoot, and he's very, very athletic.
Yeah, as of right now, they got Evan Mobley as NBA.com has Evan Mobley as number 1 as far as chances to get it. He's averaging 14.8 points a game, 8.2 rebounds. That's a good little rookie year right there. 14.
Cade's stat line. I'm pretty sure Cade's like 14.
They got Scotty Barnes second on this list, and they got Cade Cunningham third, 16, 5, and 5. It's Cade Cunningham.
They probably because they probably played more games than him. That's why. So,
Franz
but
Wagner fourth, Josh Giddey, who I really like for
Josh Giddey,
OKC.
yo, I thought that was a joke, but he's
Yeah,
talented.
Ron named his fantasy basketball team the Giddy Ups, and that was before the season even started. Ron Dela Cruz knew. But yeah, there's some
Yeah,
good. Yeah, this is Chris Duarte. He's lower because he's been hurt. Jalen Suggs. There's a lot of good. The NBA is in good hands. Like, we're talking about like Kevin Durant and LeBron James all the time, and they're about to retire soon. And you gotta know who's taking that torch. Ja Morant has that torch. Evan Mobley's going to be a face. Cade Cunningham's going to be a face. Scotty Barnes is going to be a face. And even like the middle age guys, Doncic, still young 20s. Luka's like not Luka. Giannis is mid 20s. So the NBA is in good hands. It really is. It's just they know it's Steph Curry. I mean, shit, Steph Curry. How long can he play? We'll see. But yeah, the NBA is in good hands with young talent.
I think it's going to be in good hands. There's a lot of good young talent you're seeing. I mean, the Sixers are developing Maxey now, giving him his chance. And Maxey,
can we talk about Tyrese Maxey, young talent?
We really can because I'm proud of that pick. And I mean, people are saying that your third option isn't your third option anymore. It's true. He's your fourth option now. Maxey's your third option. So
what did I tell you about Tyrese Maxey? I said that's the one play. I'm like untouchable, absolutely untouchable. I watched this kid his rookie year, and I was like, "Oh, he's got potential. He's got potential to be special." And then this year, James Harden unlocked. I mean, he was already having a good start to the season. James Harden unlocked something completely, just unlocked just this animal that he had. Mind you, James Harden allows Embiid to be wide open, allows Maxey to be wide open. So it's beautiful. It's a beautiful love story that we have right now. Tobias Harris is expendable. I was looking at Tobias Harris' contract. We could trade Tobias Harris to LA. We'll give him like Danny Green as well, and we take LeBron off their hands.
Not happening.
Can you imagine?
Like I know you'll clown me for it, but yo, RJ Barrett is going to be great. I'm telling you, man, he's going to be a good player in the NBA. Like,
at what cost? Like, do you just wait? Like what? Do you think he's ever going to win you a playoff series? Just keep it real. Like the way y'all.
If they put the talent around him with the Knicks, yes, I think he can. He can play numerous positions.
Would you want him to be a number one though?
I would not be upset with him depending on who they bring into town. I would not be upset with it. I think he's playing the one right now because Julius Randle isn't playing like a one and he's handling it fine. But if he knows he has to go back to being the two, then he'll be okay with it. He looks like an all-around team player, and I really, really like the guy. I think he's good for the Knicks. And dude, you got to give the man his flowers. His last couple games, he's been averaging 30 a game. Like,
I want him to be good. Like I compared him to T-Mac when he was coming out. I was like, he got a little T-Mac. He's lefty, look kind of quirky, but yeah, he got a little Tracy in him. But we'll see. I'm not gonna write him off just yet. The Knicks are just cursed, so I just don't trust in anybody who plays for them anymore. It's just
I don't either. But like when they took RJ Barrett and I saw Zion was off the board, I was like, I'm okay with that. And I was like, give me Ja or RJ. And they took Ja second. I was like, I'm 100% fine with RJ Barrett, man. Like I didn't get that's like one pick that I've seen in a while that I have not been pissed at. Like I was pissed at the Kristaps Porzingis pick, even though I was a little bit happy afterward. Then I was just like, wasted our time on this guy. I don't know. Everybody else, I'm just like, whatever. It's like Obi Toppin. I was like, yeah, this is cool, but where's he gonna play? Like,
I give you a slam dunk competition, raise a banner at Madison Square Garden.
we could have got a point guard in Maxey for that we needed, but we didn't draft Maxey. We took Obi Toppin. I like Quickly, but they don't play him. Like, there's a lot of red flags in this. Like, you got to use the talent you draft, and it's a headache watching.
Y'all gonna have Russell Westbrook next year. Y'all gonna give up Evan Fournier and some shit. Y'all gonna have him next year. Don't worry.
Don't ever wish that on me. Don't ever wish that on me, because I'll pray to God that.
Listen, I have to watch my dog LeBron James play with this man for a year. Somebody else got to deal with him. So somebody else got to deal with him.
Ain't gonna be us, man. It better not be the Knicks. Knicks better not give him a call. Knicks better be calling Dame Dollar or some shit like that. But
Damn,
all I
too
can say
loyal.
is I am happy to see RJ Barrett flourishing. And I like Jason Tatum's really good. Jaylen Brown's really good. There's a lot of good young talent that's going to be good for the NBA once these guys we're used to seeing. And it's crazy to say these guys are used to seeing because they're guys we started watching in high school. The Chris Pauls, the Carmelo Anthony's, the LeBron James, all of the,
Crazy.
like Dwayne Wade's gone. Chris Bosh is gone. Like these
Bro,
are guys.
Dwayne Wade, Dwayne Wade is so retired. It's crazy. Like him and Bosh have been retired for a while now.
I know
It's
it's insane to
crazy.
even think that. But NBA is in good hands, and I'm happy the way it's going. So um I guess let's wrap up the show. Let's do our little segment. You got I'm dying to hear what this is. So
All right. So I was inspired by Inside the NBA last week. They had this two truths and a lie. So I was thinking, I want to play two truths and a lie. Let me see what A-Rod knows about his professional sports team that he cheers for. So I did two truths and a lies, and a lie with the New York Knicks, with the New York Yankees and the New York Jets, and we're gonna see how much you know about your professional franchises. Are you ready?
I'm always love being your guinea pig. Let's
I
go.
honestly do feel like you should do fine on these because I was kind of like free balling it, trying to figure out. We're gonna see. So I'm gonna give you two truths and a lie. You're gonna tell me which one is a lie. Okay. We're gonna start off with the team that we're just talking about, the New York Knickerbockers. Here are your two truths and a lie. Remember, tell me which one is the false. Okay. The Knicks won their first game they played in. The Knicks won their first game that they played in. Two, the Knicks are one of the founding teams of the NBA. And number three, the Knicks are no longer the most valuable NBA franchise from a monetary standpoint. Which one is the lie?
The Knicks won their first game.
That is not correct. The Knicks actually did win their first game they played in.
Wow, that would be my
Against
guess.
against Toronto. They weren't known as the Raptors at the point
The
at that
Huskies.
point. Yeah, I think it was the Huskies.
Huskies.
The
Oh,
first ever
man.
game that the New York Knickerbockers played in, they won. The false one is the Knicks are no longer the most valuable NBA franchise.
That was gonna be my second one.
No matter all the shit that they've gone through, Golden State is creeping up on them, and the Lakers are right there too. But all the shit, still the most valuable franchise.
But you know why that is because of all the marketing endorsements that they have for MSG with
Of course.
all the like the news station, all of that, everything
But
there.
that's
So
what Staples Center is trying to be, and Golden State and Tech. I mean, they moved to San Francisco for a
tech
reason.
data, tech
They
data there.
moved to San Francisco for a reason. They try to get paid. You know what I'm saying? So, but yeah, you got that one wrong. Okay. Another team that we were kind of talking about today was Stanton and all the boys. The New York Yankees. All right.
No.
Two truths and a lie. Here are your three. The Yankees have retired 22 numbers. The Yankees' official theme song is Here Comes the Yankees. And the Yankees were once known as the Highlanders. Which one is the lie?
Two. Here come the Yankees. I've never heard that before.
That is actually the name of the theme song of the Yankees. Is Here Comes the Yankees.
Never heard
The lie is that the Yankees have retired 22 numbers. They're not there yet. They retired 18.
Okay, I knew
You guys were one. You guys were started off as the New York Highlanders.
You can't. Yeah, I knew that one. You can't get a single digit number in New York. That's for sure.
Oh yeah, that's beautiful. But what have I done since 09? Anyway, Let me stop. All right, let's move on to the JETS. Just sell the team. Okay. By the way, you're 0 for 2 on your favorite team, by the way.
Fucking know this.
You should, hey, you guys.
You want to sing Here Come the Yankees with me later?
This is why he's a fair weather fan, because he don't know no shit about nothing.
Small stuff.
Here, two truths and a lie. Here we go. Curtis Martin had 10 straight 1,000 yards rushing seasons. Joe Namath once started as a running back for the University of Auburn. And the Jets were once known as the Titans of New York, the New York Titans.
Well, that one's true. They were the New York Titans. Joe Montana was a quarterback at Alabama.
I said Joe Namath.
Or Joe Namath was a quarterback at Alabama. Don't know if he was ever a running back at Auburn. So I'm gonna go with option 2 on this one, Joe Namath.
That's correct. That is correct. He quarterback for Alabama, never played a lick of football for Auburn.
Yeah, I don't know if he said I'm a running back, and they were like, "We see you as a quarterback. Come on over here."
I mean, he didn't look at the tallest guy in the world. I thought that was believable.
I'll jump in the transfer portal real quick. What,
1965? They had a transfer portal.
You had to send it through snail mail, man.
He was like, "Look, Coach Bear Bryant, you come get me, dog." All right, man. That is you went well.
I like that. That was fun. We gotta do that more often. You know, I gotta put you on the spot next time. I'm not gonna do this shit where you have to ask.
I was gonna do players. I was gonna do teaching like with specific players, but that was a little too hard. I was gonna do Jeter, Patrick Ewing, and Curtis Martin. But I was like, nah, that's a little bit much. It's a little much. I'll make it team centric.
Gotcha. All right. Well, that's the show. You can find us in tie game right now, man. In the third, we're gonna lose by 20. We're gonna lose by 20. I know that. Find us on Twitter at fair_weather_pod, Instagram, Facebook, YouTube. Just search Fair Weather Podcast, and wherever you subscribe to podcasts, you can hear the audio there as well.
MLB, fix that shit.
Seriously.
LeBron, please fix this shit.
Please.
And what other sport? Football, Holly Road, but don't fuck this shit up, please. That's all I got.
Joe Douglas, just your bags are packed after the season, so
just move on, Joe Douglas. We'll take you back, Joe Douglas. We'll take you back in Philly. We'll put you like in front in charge of
the desk, man. Put them pushing pencils, man.
Hey, fly Eagles, fly, go Sixers. Sorry about your Knicks. We're gonna whip that ass. Peace.
By 20.
By 20.